Today we are going to discuss regarding the learner. Today we are going to discuss regarding the learner's evaluation. And you know that in a particular classroom, when the teacher is going to teach, he is going to teach the content area, the subjects. The different subjects are assigned to the different teachers. But learners are there. They are there to listen and to learn. So when learner is learning, at that time the teacher's duty is to teach. But after teaching learning process is done, it is the responsibility of the teacher to evaluate the performance of the students. But here the question comes, how the performance of the students, how the content knowledge of the students we can able to evaluate. My question is, who is to evaluate? Means the teacher will have to evaluate. So directly the teacher is linked with the assessment and evaluation procedure. The teacher will have to assess the achievement of the learner in a particular subject. That means after teaching, means after the instruction, after the teaching, the teacher follows certain methods. But how far the students are able to acquire the knowledge, means there three aspects are to be taken into consideration for the evaluation. That is cognitive aspect, affective aspect, and also the psychomotor aspect. But we are saying that the test which are prepared by the teacher is known as the teacher-made test. It is also known as the achievement test. But this type of the achievement test is divided into two categories. One is non-standardized test and another is standardized test. Non-standardized test is known as the teacher-made test. It is not standardized. But if it will be standardized, then definitely it will be considered as the standardized test. Then what is the difference between standardized test and teacher-made test? We'll have to go in details. But basically you must have to remember that the teacher-made tests are constructed by the teacher, enough. But we can say that what type of the test we are going to conduct inside the classroom situation. You know that classroom test, chapter end test, unit test, quarterly test, half-yearly test, annual test, and pre-board examination. That is known as the test examination. We are saying that these are all the tests which are to be conducted by the teacher inside the classroom situation. You know that what type of the questions the teacher will ask to the students. It may be the objective type or it may be the essay type question. But sometimes we are also putting the essay type questions and also the objective type questions. But how far it is beneficial for the teacher? Means this type of the tests are to measure the prerequisite skills which are essential to succeed for the another unit. Suppose if you are not able to learn the unit 1, then it is not possible to learn unit 2. And it helps to monitor the students' learning progress also. That you know that previously already we have discussed placement evaluation, formative evaluation, diagnostic evaluation, and also the summative evaluation. But when we are doing the formative evaluation, we are conducting the unit test. But when we are doing the summative evaluation, in the last part, we are able to conduct the examination. That may be the board examination, whatever it may be, but we will have to provide a grade there. But you know, from the administrative point of view, these two tests are divided into individual test or group test. We may test a particular person, that is known as the individual test. If you will take a group of the students, then it will be considered as the group test. But if we will consider the criteria, ମାନଦଣ୍ଡ ରଖିକରି ଯଦି ଆମେ ଟେଷ୍ଟ ପ୍ରସ୍ତୁତ କରିବା, then definitely we can say that it is objective type test and it is known as the subjective type test. Detail we'll have to discuss. But when we are making the test standardized, then definitely we will have the item analysis and we will have to find out the reliability of the test and validity of the test. If we will not have the item analysis means each and every questions will be analyzed properly. How many students have given the correct answer? How many students are not giving the correct answer? How far it is very easy or very difficult or in the average process. But we say that achievement test also divided into two. One is objective type test and another is essay type test. When we are concerned the objective type test and essay type test, objective type test, you know that we in Oriya we say that vastunishta prashna, essay type question ku we are saying that essay type question je dirgha uttaramulaka prashna. ତେଣୁ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମେ objective type questions we are going to prepare, we are keeping in mind the supply type question and selection type question. Supply and selection, when you are preparing the essay type questions, that is extended response type and restricted response type. Supply type of questions is nothing but we'll have to supply some words or we'll have to give such type of word which can be able to answer. That one word is enough to give the answer. Selection type means we'll have to select बंधनी मध्य उपयुक्त शब्दवाची शून्यस्थान पूरण करिया. किंतु जेतेबेले डैश पूरण रे पचार दो हु इज द प्राइम मिनिस्टर ऑफ इंडिया, then automatically one name will come, that is the prime minister of India. That is, we can say recall question and recognition question. But extended response type question in case of the essay type questions, definitely we say that you will answer according to your own interest. How far you are able to explain very briefly about the subject matter. Restricted answer type means your answer should be restricted, means you will answer the question within certain words. You will not go ahead. It may be 10 words, it may be 50 words, whatever it may be. But here supply type of the items, that means here the student is required to supply one answer. Short type answer, you will have to answer in a particular word or phrase or number. But there is some completion type of question is there, you know that is the dash purana. But the item must not be ambiguous. When we are giving the questions at the time, it should not be ambiguous. Ambiguous means अस्पष्ट होबनी, तार अर्थ स्पष्ट होइतबा दरकार. ताते एमिति गोटे क्वेश्चन पचारिबा जो क्वेश्चन ने आमे उत्तर डिफरेंट थिबो, मल्टीपल उत्तर थिबो, से क्वेश्चन टा एक्सेप्टेबल न. काहेकि सपोज महात्मा गांधी कोठी जन्म नेइथिले, एति जदि पचार दबो जने तार सिटी कहबो, आउ जने तार डिस्ट्रिक्ट कहबो, आउ जने तार स्टेट कहबो, आउ गोटे कंट्री भी कहि परिबो, एति आंसर नै. In which village, if you will say, then one answer will come. In which state, one answer will come. Then we'll have to discuss regarding the selection answer type question. Selection means here you are required to select the correct answer. You will have to select the correct answer, and we can say the example we can give the alternative response answer and matching the test and multiple choice questions. You know that alternative response test is nothing but we will have to choose. Alternate response means vikalpa uttara we will have to choose. I will give you the examples. Suppose you will have to say yes or no, true or false, all these things. Suppose when I will say that the capital of Odisha is Bhubaneswar, whether it's true or false, then you can able to say yes or no. Suppose Bhubaneswar is the capital of Odisha, yes or no. But in one sentence should be there. So alternate response rate, then automatically we can say that the alternative response item consists a declarative statement. गोटे डिक्लेरेटिव स्टेटमेंट आमको दबाक पड़ो से आमको मार्क करने पड़ो ट्रू और फॉल्स yes or no right or wrong the capital of Odisha is Bhubaneswar yes or not yes or no true or false we can give the answer but when we are concerned with the matching the items that means here we will have to match column A and also column 2 the example is on your screen in column 1 the country is there column 2 capital is there then definitely here column 1 India Bangladesh Pakistan German and China is there then answer should be in the second column then you will have to link suppose India is there capital India capital is New Delhi then automatically you will have to give the answer like this but when we are saying that it is known as the matching the items matching the item column 1 and column 2 but when we are preparing the question at that time we must have to think in our mind that homogeneous content should be there homogeneous content means what do you mean by the homogeneous content एकटा प्रकार हेतो जो विषय पचारतो सेही प्रकार हेतो सपोज नदी ऊपर पचारछो देश ऊपर पचारछो बा साइंस रो इक्विपमेंट्स ऊपर पचारछो तार फंक्शन कोन सेही टाइप रो हेतो जा द्वारा कि मैच करियो को हमको सुविधा हो किंतु ए कलम और बी कलम रे जते बेला हमें तयारी करबा से आंसर कलम टारे जोटा को बी टा अछि सेतरे रेस्पोंस टा one or more than one you will have to add so that the students will have the confuse age तेणु all the items if you will give equal then automatically after giving the 4 then 5 alternatives are there 5 questions are there then automatically they can choose or they can match each other to get the answer then multiple choice there is no need to discuss regarding the multiple choice questions means एतरे बहुत विकल्प थाए विकल्प काहे थाए ना multiple choice item consists of the two parts one is problem and another is solution and the problem is known as the stem and another is distraction then automatically here suppose the most accurate measure of the central tendency in a distribution is called what it is mean that is the average suppose median is the exact average mode means which score is coming maximum times standard deviation is there but mean we are accepting as the accurate measures of the central tendency whatever it is then multiple choice items when we are preparing at that time we must have to see that the best answer should be in the distraction विकल्प रे निश्चित भाव में गोटे बेस्ट आंसर सेठी रहितो जोटा कि गुटी आंसर हेतो the correct answer should appear in each and alternative positions correct answer madhya thibo wrong answer thile that is not accepted and also you know that the length of the question should be the equal जो multiple choice question हमें करबा त length भी equal हेतिबो तळे जेमति आस्तबो आंसर टा and जोगुडा को weak distraction अछि तळे जो विकल्प दउचे सेगुडा को try to avoid काइना multiple choice question is the best question which can always try the students to have the confusion, create the confusion. Suppose in one answer you will have to find that two answers are to be the correct. Then if the confusion is there, then if you have the sufficient knowledge, content is clear, then automatically you will not face any difficulty. Let us come to the essay type questions. Previously I have told you that essay type question is restricted type question and also unrestricted जोटा के uncontrolled तार तो short answer type question जो थे कि हमें 50 टा बा 100 टा शब्द रे we will have to give answer Long answer type question, it covers the presentation style and also it includes the skills of presentation. How the person concerned is analyzing the subject, synthesizing the subject, apply the content knowledge, and also critical reflection. How he is explaining critically, ଜଟିଳ ଭାବରେ ସେ କିପରି ଭାବରେ ଉତ୍ତର ଦେଇପାରୁଛି. How far he has able the most understanding, that is how he comprehend the subject matter. Then after that we can able to evaluate the essay type questions. You know that extended response, already I have told you, critically you will analyze the novel of the Premchand. Critically you will analyze the present system of evaluation. Restricted answer type means give 5 points for the improvement of the traditional examination. But how we can able to construct the teacher made test? You know that the teacher is going to make the test, prepare the test, but if the teacher will not have to follow the principles, then automatically the test will not be valid or the test will not be reliable. First, we'll have to identify the instructional objectives. My question is, what do you mean by the instructional objectives? The teacher is instructing, the teacher is teaching the content, particular subject. Then what are the instructional objectives of that subject? It is considered that there is the taxonomy of educational objective, the classification of educational objectives, cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. Cognitive means the knowledge, what knowledge he has applied, what knowledge he has received, केते knowledge से ग्रहण करिछि, जो knowledge गुड़ाक ग्रहण करछि ताकु से केते दूर बुझी पारुछि, that is affective understanding. Then skill, से knowledge गुड़ाक तार day to day life रे how is applying to solve the problem, how the content knowledge is helping the learner to apply in the different fields. First, you will have to consider all these things, and you know that then you will have to prepare a design, then you will have to prepare the blueprint. How the blueprint is there, I will have to explain, and automatically you will have to write the items. First is, you know that identification of the instructional objectives. The 3 domains are there. One is cognitive, that is your knowledge. Affective, your feeling and your emotional areas, your attitude itself. How you are going to understand this subject matter. Psychomotor means, you know that it is manual, means your physical skills. Suppose you have the knowledge, you have the understanding, but when you are getting the question, at that time you are able to answer the question properly in the answer sheet. But if you have the knowledge and if you do not able to write, then your writing skill is not there, because here your motor skills will able to apply. You must have to apply the hands. Then you will have to design, you will have to prepare a design, and that design means in the design you will have to find the instructional objectives, then type of the questions, and unit and sub-unit of the course content. So definitely 3 dimensions we will have to take into consideration. One is objectives, instructional objectives, then type of the questions, then we will have to take the content area. Content area, when we are taking into consideration, at that time we are also taking the units. Suppose in a particular book there are 10 units, then you will have to take into consideration of the 10 units. But when you are trying out the test, then definitely difficulty level should be taken into consideration. What do you mean by the difficulty level? Difficulty level means, suppose you are preparing a question, If 100% are giving the correct answer, then your question is not acceptable. If nobody is going to attempt the question, then it is also not accepted. So you will have to take it into consideration of the average students. Some questions should be for the average students, some questions for the below average students, and some questions are to be provided for the intelligent students, so that there will be a balance on the question paper. Everybody will not secure the 100% marks. But here I will have to explain that what do you mean by the blueprint. You know that when you are preparing the question paper, you must have to first prepare the blueprint. Blueprint, you know that it is nothing but it is ଓଡ଼ିଆ ନକ୍ସା ପ୍ରିପେୟାର ଗୋଟେ ଘର ତିଆରି କରିବା ତା ପୂର୍ବରୁ ଗୋଟେ ନକ୍ସା ମାନେ ପ୍ରିପେୟାର କରିବା ସେମିତି whenever we are preparing a question we will have a blueprint ଆଗରୁ ଗୋଟେ ଜାଗାକୁ ବୁଲିବା ପିକନିକ କରିବାକୁ ଯିବା ଗୋଟେ blueprint କରିବା ସେଠି କେତେବେଳେ ପହଞ୍ଚିବା କ'ଣ ଖାଇବା କୋଉ ସ୍ଥାନ ବୁଲିବା କୋଉ ସମୟରେ ବ୍ୟାକ୍ କରିବା ଘରେ କେତେବେଳେ ପହଞ୍ଚିବା ଏସବୁ ଜିନିଷକୁ ଯଦି ଆଗରୁ ଆପଣ ପ୍ରସ୍ତୁତ ନ କରିଥିବେ ସବୁ ଜିନିଷ ଆପଣ କରିପାରିବେ ନାହିଁ ତେଣୁ preparation of the blueprint is very important because you know that paper setter is always decide that from all content areas, suppose history book, all the 10 units are there. From the all 10 units, you will have to get the questions. It may be knowledge, it may be the understanding, or it may be the psychomotor questions. You will have to prepare. So definitely the questions should be distributed according to the objectives and content areas. So if you will not consider the content area, if you will not consider the objectives, then definitely the question paper will not be taken into consideration. Here in the screen you can see that number one is we are taking the weightage to the objectives, means instructional objectives. Instructional objectives means the learning outcomes. Learning outcome means after teaching what learners have gained the knowledge, you will have to take it into consideration. That is, the objectives are here knowledge, understanding, application and skills. Then suppose you will have to prepare the 100 questions. Then marks will be have to prepare. Suppose how many marks you will give to the, suppose you will give 20, 40, 20 and 20. Then 100 is there. Then you will have to prepare the percentage of the mark here. You will have to give the percentage of the mark. Then percentage of the mark means that will be the 100. Here the objectives will be the 100. But when you are giving the content, then definitely you will have to be focused on what? Suppose here I am giving only 5 units. 5 units, sub-units are there, but 5 units you will have to give 1 unit. How many percentage you will have to give means how many questions. Suppose you will have to prepare the, suppose 100 questions will be there. Suppose 5 minutes 20, 20 divide kartale, then it will be the 100. But if one chapter you will have to give 30, then another chapter will also you will have to give 10. But distribution should be there, and it should not, it should affect, or all the questions should be taken into consideration from the all units. Then here you can see that regarding the weightage should be given on the type of the questions. Means how many long questions you will have to put, how many short answer question will be put. Then very short answer type or objective type question you will have to put. But regarding the blueprint, this is very important because you know that in this blueprint, you know that objectives are there. Here objectives are there. Objectives are knowledge. Here you can say the knowledge, the understanding, application and skills. But here forms of the question, long answer type, short answer type, very short answer type. Here is also understanding, long answer type, short answer type, very short answer type. But here content is there. You can see the 5 units are there. Then whenever you are preparing the questions, suppose long answer, short answer could be ଆପଣ omit କରିଦେଇ ପାରିବେ. Then last को ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆସୁଥିବ ଯଦି 100 questions କରୁଛନ୍ତି, here you can have to find the 100 questions. ସବୁ ମିଶିଲେ, suppose you can say knowledge ଯେତିକି ଦେଇଛନ୍ତି ଆଗରୁ prepare କରିଛନ୍ତି knowledge ରେ ଏଠି ଗୋଟେ କରିଥିଲେ ଆପଣ, ଯୋଉ knowledge କରିଥିଲେ application କରିଥିଲେ ସେତିକିଟା percentage ଅଛି ନା ନାହିଁ, first you have to find out. तापर अंडरस्टैंडिंग रे जति केतले सेति अछि ना नाही एप्लीकेशन रे जति केतले सेति अछि ना नाही स्किल रे जति केतले सेति अछि ना नाही एपटे यूनिट 1 रु जति नेइतले सेति अछि ना नाही यूनिट 2 रु जति नेइतले सेति अछि ना नाही 3 रु जति नेइतले सेति अछि ना नाही देन सबु जाक आपन को नबाकू पड़िबो तेणु सबु जाक नै सारला परे आपन का हाथ रे गोटे नक्शा प्रस्तुत हे गेला देन whenever you will have to find out the design then automatically you will have to act so weightage are to be distributed and you will have to give much more importance as per the blueprint of the then here suppose question is already prepared writing is there it will be given to the students after you will get the answer paper then the marking scheme is there you will have to give marks but when you are giving the marks at that time basically when we are conducting standardized objective type test then definitely we will have to get a scoring key and you have to give the OMR sheet first then whenever OMR sheet will be there OMR sheet you know that optical mark recognition you will have to mark the answers there then in pencil you will have to round it whatever it may be then automatically OMR sheet is provided to the examines and it will be collected and it will be very easy for taking the scoring key then automatically you will have to answer all these things but sometimes in the process of administration when we are getting the questions at that time if the administration will not be proper then automatically the students will face some problems so you know that time should be fixed you will have to give the time how many times the students will take to answer the question and how many times you will have to uh, allow them to sit in the examination halls definitely it will be scheduled in the beginning room that you know that each and everybody is trying their best to be comfort why you know that if the comfortable zone will not have to get then automatically will be discussed and we are not able to answer the question paper properly so care should be taken because the child is applying his critical thinking power and reasoning power to answer the question. If he will get the physical pain, then automatically he will lose the interest. And you know that equipment should be provided. It may be the single bench desk or it may be the whatever it may be, the writing materials if possible you can provide or the watches should be there. Watches means the student will able to know the time, how far he is going to take more. And lastly, I can say you that invigilators should be there to watch the students. Not only to watch the students, try to help them, not answering the question, but to see the comfort of the learners. Then automatically when you will get the answer key and you are also valuing the answer scripts, then automatically it is very easy on the part to report the students. Means you know that suppose if the essay type question is there, suppose five questions will be there in a question paper, then 5 questions answer will differ from person to person because in the essay type question there is individual differences and their perception is also different then automatically the answer will be different so here what you will have to do if the valuation will be one question will be given to the different examiners then number two question will be given to different examiner number three will be given to different examiners so on then automatically evaluation will be very perfect but if one will see all the questions, then automatically there will be the confusion. Answer will be very subjective. Atmanishta ହେଇଯିବ ତେଣୁ in case of the objective type of test, separate answer sheets are there, and whenever you will get the answer sheet, then automatically you can able to get the answers from the booklet. If you do not apply the OMR sheet, you can see the answer sheet and also with the scoring key, then you can able to make it. But sometimes human error is there. When the human error is there, you are there to have the scope for rescoring. Rescoring means if you will have the scope for the rescoring, then automatically you can able to give the proper judgment to the students, because if there will be some errors, then it will be eliminated. Then after that you will have to keep all the records in the schools. Then why the records are essential? To keep the records are essential because each and every teacher is answerable to the parents and also the headmaster. So the records will give the information regarding the child's performance. The report form should be prepared, and there it will be recorded all the matters, all the marks should be recorded, and it will be given to the students, parents, teachers, counselor, whatever it may be, or administrator. But all the progress reports should be provided to the parents, because whenever we are getting the progress report from the school, at the time we are putting the signature of our parents. For the administrative purpose, it is very essential, because what type of the grades we are giving, it is also recorded in the progress report, and sometimes it will very much essential for the promotion, and it is also help the headmaster to provide awards or honor, and sometimes if any scholarships are there, then automatically it will be provided to them. So definitely for the improvement of the educational institution, for the administrative purpose, we must have to take into consideration all the matters. But lastly, interpretation of the result is very important, because performance of the students in individual and also in the group should be judged properly, because all the content areas are to be covered, and also how far he is exposed with the content area, it will be judged from the interpretation of the results. But sometimes when we are interpreting the results, we are getting the negative, because some students are not getting the good marks and they are the below average, then definitely the negative feeling will come. Okay, we'll have to go to the next unit, and that unit we'll have to cover achievement test, the commonly used test, that in school what are the different type of the test commonly used. You know that achievement test, aptitude test, achievement test versus aptitude test means, and performance test, diagnostic test, question bank, oral test, and also observation techniques, that is the observation in peer and groups, then techniques of the self observation is there, and practical test. We'll have to discuss all these tests which are commonly used inside the classroom. The first is achievement test. Same teacher made test already we have discussed, and you know that in this achievement test, definitely we can say after the instruction, after after the completion of the course, we are conducting the achievement test, and you know that this type of the achievement test must have the validity and also the reliability, and content related evidence should be there, because you know that suppose in the different subjects, suppose in mathematics, first we must have the knowledge, means the theory knowledge, mathematics. Then automatically after getting the theory knowledge, how far you are able to understand it, but how far we are able to apply it, that is the application stage. Means suppose in your day-to-day life, and that is most important. So everything should be assessed, and similarly we will have to prepare the achievement test questions. But another is aptitude test. You know what is aptitude? Aptitude refers personal natural ability to learn. Personal natural ability to learn. Suppose you are interested for the dance. Suppose you are interested for the games and sports. Suppose you are going to develop your reasoning power. Suppose numerical reasoning power, verbal reasoning power, or whatever it may be. And suppose you are going to spatial reasoning power, mechanical reasoning power, artistic aptitudes. Suppose we can say that, suppose you are very much interested to play with numbers. Suppose you are very much interested to give the lectures, or you are participating in the debate competitions. Suppose you are having the, we can say, logical reasoning is there. You are very much interested to argue with the others. Spatial reasoning means, you know that, suppose you are getting a cycle in the cycle stand, you must have to find out the space where you will have to keep your cycle. If the space will not available, if you will put the cycle, then automatically it will hamper the others. You must have to, that is the space ability. So every movement mean तमे कोठी स्थान पाइबा उचित, कोठी केमिति हमें स्थान दबा उचित को पटो. Mechanical you will know. Mechanical means if you have not interest in mechanic works, then definitely you cannot do the job. Artistic, suppose it may be the dance, painting, art, photography, whatever it may be, and it will not be able to perform properly. So how we can able to evaluate? Suppose you know that aptitude we can able to evaluate in the uncontrolled experience. Suppose we can observe the dance, you can observe the music, you can observe the song, whatever it may be, in the outside, that is uncontrolled. So when we are observing all these things, the teacher's responsibility is to predict the future performance. That girl is singing well, and if she will get the scope, then automatically her efficiency will able to recognize not only in the district but also in the state. So primarily where teachers are there, they must have to predict the future performance of the students. Then another is achievement test and also aptitude test. If you can see the difference, then automatically you are able to understand all these things. Suppose in case of the achievement test, that you know that known and controlled set of experiences are there here. Known and controlled set of experiences. Known and controlled means, suppose teacher has taught you the particular subject, you know the subject matter, and examination is conducted in a controlled manner in the classroom situation. In a particular time limit is there, question paper is there, answer sheets are there. But in case of the aptitude test, then there is the effects of the unknown and uncontrolled set of experiences. What type of the experiences you have, that can able to be judged by the teachers. That is uncontrolled, unknown situation where you can able to judge it. Then second is, we can evaluate the product of the course or training. Product of the course of the training. हमें ट्रेनिंग दे सारिबा, पाठ पढ़े सारिबा, तार प्रोडक्ट को पाइबा मार्क अनुसार. किंतु एठी मार्क न, एठी हमें पोटेंशियलिटी केते डेवलप करछि ताको हमें जानिबा. Evaluate the potentiality with profit. Suppose if anybody will sing, if anybody is a singer, then not only she will sing, but she will get the remuneration out of it. Suppose one is getting the training and performing his duty properly, then more remuneration he will have to get than he expects previously. So here content validity is there. content validity means in achievement test we are always giving much more importance on the content. Content means you can need subject matter. But here we are predict the criterion validity, that what type of the norms we are accepting and that will be taken into consideration. Then next is performance based achievement test. Performance means, what do you mean by the performance? Means performance means how you are applying your knowledge and skills to do a particular work. Means how you are performing the work. That is nothing but your skills in practical and in the real world context. ବାସ୍ତବ ଜୀବନରେ ଆମେ କେତେ ଦୂର କୌଣସି କାର୍ଯ୍ୟ କରିପାରୁଛେ, ଆମକୁ ଯୋଉ ନଲେଜ ଆମେ ଗେନ୍ କରିଛେ ତାକୁ ଆମେ କେତେ ଦୂର ଆପ୍ଲାଏ କରିପାରୁଛେ. Theoretical knowledge is not more important, but practical knowledge is very important. Suppose you know that oral presentation is there, debate is there, research papers when we are writing, that is there, and portfolios are also there. But previously I have told you regarding the portfolios, but now you can say that portfolio is nothing but it is a collection. Means आमको किसी collection करियाको पड़िबो, and it is nothing but in Oriya we can say निवेश सूची. We will have to collect something and keep it, and we are utilizing it for the different purposes. And you know that when we are dealing with the finance, at that time we must have to know that how much we have invested and what profit we are getting. Then it expresses the individual's different type of activities, and all the activities are reflected what type of the certificates and also what type of the appreciations he has received from the different organizations, institutions and schools. Suppose you are working in the company, then company products is very important. How far qualitative products the company has, that is his portfolios. Suppose in case of the education, always we are considering the work of the learners and development of the learners and how far he has get the achievement in the different fields, and all the documents should be taken into consideration as the portfolios. So it is very much essential in the teaching learning process, and which is essential for the teaching learning process and to know the learners. Then definitely we can say that in the evaluation it is essential to take the portfolios as consideration. So our aims and objectives is nothing but we must have to provide the meaningful learning to the students, where we can able to know the weakness and also strength of the students. So when we are discussing regarding the performance test, then automatically performance test is nothing but it is administered individually, and examiner find out the errors committed by the students, and automatically there will be the suggestions or remediation. Another test is diagnostic testing and remedial activities. You know that in the approaches of the evaluation, already we have discussed the approaches at the placement, which gives the idea regarding the entry performance of the student or learner. Entry knowledge, prerequisites knowledge, when one is going to read in a particular class. But formative evaluation is there when the teacher is teaching a particular unit, and if the content area will not be understood by the student, then he will not able to understand the another unit also. Same type of the problem will be there. And how far it will be rectified? Suppose you are facing some sort of the disease. We must have to know that what is the reason of the disease. For that purpose, you are going to the doctor. Diagnosis is there. After diagnosis, then remedial measures will be provided by the doctor. Similarly, if we will have to conduct the diagnostic test, then automatically what will be the result? The result will be the solution of the problem. What difficulties are facing by the students, it will be rectified, and you will have to get the patients to go ahead. Then after that, you know that placement, formative, diagnostic, then after that summative. Lastly, you will have to find that the student will get the more marks. But when we are conducting the diagnostic test, at that time we are to be considered the different aspects of the students. It may be the scholastic or it may be the scholastic. Then we'll have to discuss later. Diagnostic evaluation, you know that it discovers the difficulties encountered by the student or the learner in the normal progress in the school subject. It is also to find out the inadequacy in specific skills, means the difficulties. He is not able to read properly, that is one type of skill. He is not have developed his thinking power and reasoning power. Why? He is not having the thinking power to think the subject matter properly. So specific kind of instruction should be provided so that he can able to achieve success. Otherwise, he will not able to achieve the success. So first, the teacher's responsibility is to know the student's behavior, observe the student's behavior. Then there will be the interaction. After the interaction, the teacher will ask the oral questions as per his level of understanding. से केते बुझी पारुची से अनुपात रे से ताकू क्वेश्चन पचारि तापरे यूनिट वाइज जेते बेले अचीवमेंट टेस्ट होची सेते बेले से ऑब्जर्व करिवो से अगेन जेते बेले अचीवमेंट टेस्ट होबो से इंप्रूव करूची ना नाही तेनु ऑटोमेटिकली वी मस्ट हैव टू डिटरमाइन द डिफिकल्टी लेवल ऑफ द स्टूडेंट्स that what problems the student is facing or what type of the lack of the basic skills of the individual or the student. Then all the difficulties are to be taken into consideration. Sometimes the students also face the difficulties in the accommodation of the social situations. They are not able to establish the relationship with the students. That is nothing but the social relationship, emotional relationship, and personal adjustment. That creates the problem inside the classroom situation. But teacher must have to take into consideration all the aspects of the child to provide proper education and to improve the standard of the student. But sometimes also for the diagnostic evaluation, we must have to take the help of the rating scale, you know, checklist, you know, anecdotal records. When I am saying that anecdotal records is there, then you must have to know all these things. That means the record of the child. Anecdotal record means the record of the child. Anecdotal record means, suppose we can say the record means abhilekha. Anecdotal means the description. Suppose you know that we must have to know the student's behavior, what type of the behavior the student is also reflecting in a particular situations, and briefly the teacher will have to record all these things. In which situation, what type of the behavior the child is performing. And if it will be recorded, then definitely we can able to judge the behaviors of the students, how is reacting in the different situations. That is the reaction of the students. So many factors are affecting the learning difficulties. You know that improper teaching. If the teacher will not teach properly, then definitely we'll have to face the problem. Learning difficulties, improper teaching, then unsuitable curriculum. Curriculum is, if it is hard, then it will not suit the child. Then exceptionally complex course behavior, the subject matter. If it is very difficult, then we cannot able to understand. You know that we are having the intelligence and IQ is there, individual differences are there. So definitely the students will vary in their IQ, in their intelligence. Their learning capacity or ability will also differ from person to person. So care should be taken considering the all the difficulties. The intelligence is there. Suppose one is low intelligence, he is not able to learn quickly as the gifted child learns, which IQ is more than 140. Then learning difficulties are multiple and it is complex also. And definitely the classroom situation, the class teachers should have to taken into consideration about the all records, that is cumulative record, special testing, what he has conducted, and how he has the report regarding the different type of the observation, and how he is conducting the interview, and what type of the report he has mentioned in the information report. All these things should be taken into consideration. So first identify the learning difficulties, then analyze the error. After that, analyze the content. Next, you must have to cover the emerging situation of the child. After that, you will have to develop the test and format and try out the test. Then after that, you will get a conclusion. So you will have to find out the test, different tests you will have to conduct, and you must have to select the items which are to be included in the test. Then after that, conducting the test, you will have to reflect all the matters in the record card. Then after that, you can able to provide the proper guidance to the child for academic development. Academic development means guidance. When you are giving the guidance, it is nothing but remedial activities. Remedial activities means suppose you are suffering from the disease, the doctor diagnosis says, then automatically after the diagnosis, the doctor will give a prescription, and in that prescription, so many medicines are reflected. You will have to purchase from the you can say the medicine shop. If you will eat properly, then automatically your disease will be cured. Similarly, the teacher is there after observing the learning difficulties of the child, then he will have to say what you will have to do in the different situations, and he will have to give the suggestions that the teachers must have to follow the different type of the teaching methods. Suppose if the teacher teaching is very poor, then automatically the students will not able to get the benefit. So if methods of teaching is also not suit to the child, then you must have to change it, because you must have to consider the knowledge, they consider the capability of the child, so that the child can able to learn more and more. So first we must have to follow the remedial measures so that the learning difficulties will be removed. If the teacher will teach again and again the below standard children, suppose reteaching is very much essential, and if it will be slow, then if content will be the very low, then automatically the students can able to learn more and more. Just I can say you that good teaching is always very much helpful for the learner, and it can able to fulfill the needs and necessities of himself. And good teaching is the focal point, and automatically a good teacher is also the focal point. Suppose you know that attitude is also related. Suppose a child is liking a teacher, then he can able to accept the knowledge which he has given to the child. If he has no likingness, if he has the hatredness, then automatically it will not be acceptable for the learner. So definitely remedial activities should help to overcome the learning difficulties, and you know that sometimes the teacher must have to reward the child. Simple reward is also very much essential. Suppose if you will answer a particular question, I can give you a reward. It may be a pencil, it may be a pen, whatever it may be. It may be a notebook that will encourage the student. And you know that different type of the motivational method the teacher can able to apply. Then emotional difficulties, if the child has, sometimes you know that where the children are coming from the home and they are having some sort of the emotional imbalance, and whenever they are facing some emotional problems, then definitely we must have to take into consideration with a very simple talking with the child and sharing the sorrows and sufferings. And if you will share the sorrows and sufferings with the children, then among the children, then automatically you can able to suggest. And a remedial teaching is also very much essential for the eradication of the learning difficulties. Let us come to question bank. Why we are saying that it is a question bank? What we are doing in the bank? Suppose in the bank we are keeping some money, cash is there, we are keeping some cash. Whenever necessary, we are withdrawing. And also sometimes we are also getting the loan. And sometimes what we are doing in the bank, we are sure that our money is safe. Similarly, why we will have to form a question bank? Because what we will have to do, bank means the storage, and credit and debit is going on in the bank. So here, what is happening in the question bank? Suppose you will have to make a question bank, what you will have to do? And you know that in the question bank, you will have to put the questions. Put the question means the assessment items, the evaluation items you will have to keep in storage. And it should be remained in a systematic way. It will be retained, it will be stored, and it will be restored. But how far it is very much essential for the teacher in the process of evaluation? Because you know that the teachers, parents and evaluators and students are always interested to secure the good marks in the examination. If they are able to know the questions, previous questions, they will not fear to the examination going to be ahead, because it will help the students to prepare, keeping in mind the different type of the questions which are available in the question bank. Not only it will help the students, but also it will help the teachers very much, because the teacher can able to prepare the question papers accordingly, because no repetitions of the question will be there, previous questions will not be there. So advantages is there, the evaluator will have to get the reference on the different type of the question paper, and also there will be no question of the repetition of the questions, and it saves the time, energy and labor of the teacher. And the questions help teachers, evaluators and also the others to have a qualitative, what? Qualitative, we can say, question paper. So definitely it helps students in self-evaluation. Means whenever the students will go through the question paper, at that time they can able to evaluate himself that whether I am, if I will get this such type of the question paper, then whether I will have to complete it properly or not. So definitely here I am saying that it provides the range of the ideas, proper setting of the preparation of the question paper, and automatically if we will have the question bank, then automatically it will be very much essential for us to find out the short questions, the objective type questions, and structured questions are there. So practical examination uh, will also be benefited because we will have to get the different type of the practical test questions, and also we are getting some sort of the projects there, and we can able to get any type of the test which are available in the question bank for our own interest. But next is oral examination. Oral examination, you all know. Sorry. Oral examination means sometimes we are have to face examination, and it will be conducted orally. Examiner is there, examiner is there. There will be a conversation how one is able to express his thought and feelings perfectly through speech, and you know that some questions will be put immediately by the teachers to go ahead, and the thought process will be very activated there, and some problems will be given immediately, and the examiner will say that how this problem you can able to solve. So definitely oral examination we can able to conduct through interview. Viva test is there, quiz contest is there, and panel discussion is there. There we are able to ask questions orally, but it is also a part and parcel of the formative and summative evaluation. Suppose if you will ask a small child, primary child, then you can count the 13 table or 15 table or 19 table, whatever it may be. Then how he is able to recite the tables, we must have to know all these things. But oral test objective is to estimate how the learner is able to speak fluently, spontaneously, expressing the thought and feelings. You know that the knowledge the learner has, that is cognitive, affective, understanding is there, and skill is there. But how the learner is utilizing the cognitive, affective, and psychomotor abilities of himself when he is participating in the oral test. And there the teacher will able to know the strength and weakness of the child. After that the remediation is there. The teacher will suggest that you should not do it and you will have to do all these things. So another thing is limitation is there because tends to be very subjective. It depends upon a particular uh, interviewer. It may be the subjective. Unplanned way we can able to conduct the test sometimes. It is not standardized. That it is not prepared beforehand. That these are all the questions to be asked to the candidate or the learner. You will ask the question according to your own interest. You may take more time if you are interested to talk with the learner, then that will also affect the mental condition of the child. Some shy students are there, they are not in a position to answer properly, and the reliability and validity of the test is questionable. It will not be judged properly, and it is, I say that it is more time consuming. So oral response test is nothing but a spoken questions and response you will have to get from the learner. Written response questions sometimes we are also giving, that we are giving the answer sheets and we are asking some questions to answer in writing. So it may be possible. The writing you can able to judge. Oral performance question is there. Sometimes you know that when we are giving much more importance on cognitive, psychomotor as well as affective domain, then definitely we will have to give some tasks. We will have to give some activities, and we can able to say to write. Suppose you are interested to write something regarding the Odissi dance. You can say that you will write something regarding the Odissi dance in English or Hindi, whatever it may be. Then it can able to know how you are pronouncing or how you are using your what your the language is there. So another is observation method. Here I will say that observation method, previously I have told you that we are observing the participant. The observation may be the participant and non-participant, may be controlled or may be uncontrolled. But observation is also tool of the measuring instrument. Here we are collecting the data. ଆମେ ତଥ୍ୟ ଗୁଡ଼ିଏ ସଂଗ୍ରହ କରିଥାଉ କାହିଁକି ନା ବିଭିନ୍ନ ସିଚୁଏସନରେ the child is also showing the different types of the behavior, and you know that if the observer will be the participant, then definitely he will able to know the uh, properly he will have to judge the participant, means the candidate or the learner. So definitely it is a method through which we can able to capture the behavior of the learner, and when he is doing the activities we can able to know the real situations of the life or in the social life, and you can know that everything you can able to reflect in the report card, that graphical description of the real life will be there and it will be presented by the teacher. So basically we say that if you will take the good chance to know about the child, then you must have to follow the observation method, because goodness will be definitely be explored by the teacher, because you know that the inborn potentialities of the child is definitely reflected in the association with the peers or in the association of the group. Like here, peer observation means you know that you will give the scope to the friends of the participant, means the learner. Then the friends will able to uh, observe the activities of the child. Then he can able to express in terms of the essays, or it may be in the terms of the, we can say, the reports. The presentation style is there. Presentation will be in the different manner. So actually it will have, because you know that sometimes the students are playing with the students are playing together. At that time, through learning by doing, we can able to get the practical activities, and it is nothing but a trial and error method. We are doing something, facing the problem and avoid the problem, overcome the problem, then we will have to succeed. Learning through the feedback. Suppose you know that when we are learning something, if you are going to do excel in that learning, then automatically we will get the praise, and we will have, if we will not do, then we will get the criticism. So definitely we must have to help in the process of observation to develop the learners in his or her academic field. But when we are in the group, at that time we must have to think that in the group the observation should be very systematic and purposefully. How the interaction is going on, how the learner is exchanging the ideas, thoughts, and feelings, and how it will be reflected through his verbal expression. So, in the group discussion when we are doing, in the group activities when we are doing, that is the possible for the group observation. Suppose you know that the students are there, the teacher is there, a topic will be discussed, and sometimes if anybody is expressing properly, if anybody is expressing his thoughts and feelings properly through verbal communication, then automatically we can know that he has the cognitive and affective and psychomotor power. Last to go, we can say that self-observation is there. Self-observation means you, what do you mean by this self-observation? Self-observation means what? That is the intrinsic I know what I am. You know your weakness. You know your strength. If you will say that I will be secure first position inside the classroom situation, if anybody will ask you that are you reading well, then you will say no. Then how will you have to secure the first position inside the classroom situation? So the desired outcome should be according to your intrinsic value. Means what you want to become, then definitely you must have to know by yourself. You should not motivate it from the instinctive, extrinsistic modes. Then automatically what you have learned, you must have to digest it. Then you must have to get by heart. Then automatically you can able to perform properly. Self-observation is nothing, constant effort, active, objective, intentionally turning a portion of your attention in what? That अर्थ if you will observe yourself, then automatically you can able to rectify yourself. A period of time you need the assistance, then automatically you will able to discover the sense of inner freedom, and your inner freedom will able to help you to change. So inner freedom is nothing but a powerful method, not only have a self study but also self change. Self observation will help us for self study and self change. You know that when you will aware about yourself, then automatically you will be conscious. You will be reflect the matters in your behavior. Then automatically you can control yourself. Your sensitivity will be there. Your willingness will be there. Then automatically you can able to take the opportunity to learn more and more. And that will help you to develop yourself. Practical test. You know that after the theoretical test, suppose in case of the science, we are conducting theory examination and also we are conducting the practical examination. Practical examination, we are focusing on the skills. And you know that suppose subjects like drama, art, craft, music, tailoring, cookery, woodwork, metalwork, yoga, games and sports. These are all the practical subjects. We will give much more importance on the practical so that we can able to know how you are performing the task properly. And physics, chemistry, biology, applied science are there. Engineering, computer science, rural technology, agriculture, these are all things are there. Then observation and assessment of the practical examination. And you know that here the teachers asking questions, that is open-ended question. And practical tests are more or less require the students draw a conclusion about the practical work. And when you will ask the question, at that time you must have the patience to listen. And ultimately, your required answer you must have to record in the report, practical report, so that definitely you can able to draw a conclusion. Next, another unit. Educational diagnosis. We are going to a technical point when we are expressing the students' progress, when we are trying our best to provide proper education, and when we are going to develop the methods of teaching, the desired educational objectives we are interested to achieve. The desired educational objectives are always related to cognitive aspect more. Cognitive aspect more, why we are saying? that it is nothing but the cognitive जो aspect ଆମେ ନେଲେ ସେଥିରେ କାହିଁ ଆମେ ଜୋର ଦବା ସେଠି ଜୋର ଦବାର କାରଣ ହଉଛି ସେଠି knowledge is there, understanding is there, application is there. If we have the knowledge, if you have understanding capacity, then we can able to apply the knowledge properly. But in this process, if we are facing any type of the difficulties, then automatically that difficulties or that weakness we must have to locate, and that is also known as the educational diagnosis. Educational diagnosis is always related to the educational assessment, because when we are preparing the achievement test, teacher by test, then definitely we are going to achieve the educational objectives. But in the educational aspects, definitely we are taking into consideration that we must have to keep in mind the cognitive, emotional, health, perceptual and social and other aspects of the child. These are also affecting the child achievement, means in case of the academic sphere and the adjustment sphere inside the school. So educational diagnosis is the educational assessment of students in order to establish possible cognitive, emotional, health, perceptual, social and other factors that might be impacting on their academic achievement. When we are not in a position to read properly, then we are always considering our cognitive aspect. Emotional aspect also there. Health is there if you will face some sort of the disease. Emotional means if you are unstable. Perceptual means you know that we are having the 5 sense organs, eye, ear, tongue, nose, skin. But if these are not activated, then there will be no sensation. And when there will be no sensation, there will be no perception. If you will not see, if you will not hear, if you will not touch, then automatically you cannot know anything. So your sensation is always lead to perception. And if you have the perception, then you can able to make the concept. Concept means what a dharana srushti hoga. Suppose you know that when the different types of the cows, bullocks, ox, goats, they are grazing in the field. If a small child will ask that who are there, your answer will be the guy, guru. But when the child will act separately, that what is it is what? এটা କଣ? ଆରେ ଏଡେ ଏଡେ ସିଂହ ଅଛି, ଆରେ ଏତେ ଛୋଟ ସିଂହ ଅଛି, ଏତେ ବଲ୍କି ହେଇଛି, ଏ ଛୋଟ ଛୋଟ ଗୁଡାକ ହେଇଛନ୍ତି, ସବୁ ଯାକ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆପଣ ଗୋଟେ ଗୋଟେ କରି ଏକ୍ସପ୍ଲେନ କରିବେ ତାର କନସେପ୍ଟ କ୍ଲିୟର ହେଇଯିବ। ଆଉ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଜଣଙ୍କର କନସେପ୍ଟ କ୍ଲିୟର ହେଇଗଲା ସେ ଆଉ କେବେ ହାରିବନି। ତେଣୁ at the primary level what type of the education teachers are providing, if our concept is clear, then automatically we can able to do what? We can able to know everything. Your concept regarding the house, your concept regarding the road, your concept regarding the trees, different type of the trees, different type of the flowers. When it is clear, then definitely you will not able to say that we do not know the different types of the trees. So your perception will help the conception, then automatically, practically, if you have some problems, then it will be taken into consideration. Suppose if you have defects in the speech or hearing or in the vision, then definitely the remedial measures should be provided. So educational diagnosis is not a simple task. We cannot solve all the problems of the children. Suppose in the early stage, schooling is there and the students are there to understand properly. And if they will face difficulties in future performance, then it should be eradicated, we are saying, but eradication is not a simple task if it will not be done in the beginning. So, in the educational diagnosis, definitely we must have to consider the learning situation, the socio-personal adjustment, and the living conditions of the students. And not only we are thinking all these things, we must have to find out the multifarious situations what the person concerned is facing when he is in the different type of the friends, peer groups are there, family is there, society is there, schools are there, teachers are there, his intelligence and abilities are there. So all the factors are to be taken into consideration. And when we'll have to take it into consideration all these things, then definitely we'll have to identify the student's problem. And when we'll identify the student's problem, how it is occurring, we must have to know what type of the remedial measures we will have to suggest, we must have to prepare, then we must have to prevent the problems what the student is going to face. So if there will be a good diagnosis, then automatically the good teaching will be helpful. So good diagnosis and good teaching, if we will to go in the parallel way, then automatically it will have the greater effect, but it will be more effective for the students' enhancement of the knowledge. So in this process, we must have to provide the accurate diagnosis. It's very much essential for the individual to face the difficulties in the different situations. So remedy is essential and a good teacher can provide good remedy to the others. So preventive work, what we'll have to take into consideration, you know that diagnostic procedures should come on the basis of the preventive work. And you know that diagnostic test, the different characteristics are there. You know that diagnostic test provides immediate results. ଆମେ ଯେକୌଣସି ରୋଗ ହେଲେ ଟିକେ ମେଡିସିନ ଖାଇଦେଲେ କମିଯାଏ, ସେମିତି ଯାହା ଗୋଟେ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ ହବ ଷ୍ଟୁଡେଣ୍ଟସର ତାକୁ ଯଦି ଆମେ ଟିକେ ରିମେଡିଆଲ ମେଜର୍ସ ନେଇଯିବା, immediate results we will have to get, and we must have to identify the difficulties, provide the necessity help or assistance in case of the instruction, and automatically we can able to solve the learning difficulties. And you know that diagnostic tests are very much essential to provide proper help or assistance to the students to achieve the educational objective. Educational objective means he can able to improve the knowledge in the different content areas which is reflected in the curriculum, and it can able to know the strength and weakness of the children, and definitely what inadequacies we are facing at that time we must have to rectify it, because there are so many inadequacies are there in case of the curriculum, in case of the content, in case of the pedagogy means art of teaching or science of teaching. Then when we are transacting the knowledge and information, then it is nothing but a two-way process is there in the teacher and taught relationship. Sometimes we are using the teaching aids, and definitely we must have to teach in an organized manner so that we can able to get the participation of the children. Sometimes we must have to take the help of the participatory approach, that you will put the question to the students will answer the question, whatever the difficulties they are facing, you the teachers are there to help them. So special educational guidance should be provided. Guidance, you know, that to help, to provide help or assistance to the students to solve the problems. It may be educational, it may be personal, it may be vocational, whatever it may be. You will have to monitor the progress of the child. Then you must have to see that how far the students are empowered to face the learning difficulties. And whenever the students will face the learning difficulties, then we can say that they are uh, try to be motivated, and also they have developed the innovative ideas to succeed in their life. So try our best to compare the past performance of the students and present development of the students. If the comparison is very good, the improvement is there, then we must have to accept the diagnostic evaluation. But you know that in formative evaluation and summative evaluation, definitely diagnostic evaluation plays an hello.
ଆଜ୍ଞା ସାର୍ ସାର୍ ଗୋଟେ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚନ୍ ଯେ କ୍ଲାସରୁମ୍ ସିଚୁଏସନକୁ ବେସ୍ କଲେ ମାନେ ଫର୍ ଏକ୍ଜାମ୍ପଲ୍ ଗୋଟେ ପିଲା କ୍ଲାସ୍ 5ରେ ପଢୁଛି ତ ତାର ଫଣ୍ଡାମେଣ୍ଟାଲ ମନେକର ଷ୍ଟ୍ରଙ୍ଗ ନାହିଁ ମାନେ ସେ ଲେଖିପାରୁନି ୱାର୍ଡ ଲେଖିପାରୁନି ତାର ୱାର୍ଡ ମାନେ ଠିକ୍ ସେ ଲେଖିପାରୁନି ତ ଆମେ କୋଉ ଲେବୁଲକୁ ଯାଇକି ତାକୁ କରିପାରିବା ନା ଆମେ କ୍ଲାସ୍ 5ର ଯେତିକି ପଢେଇବା ନା ତାର ପୁରା ବେସ୍କୁ ଯାଇକି ଆମେ କରିବା ମାନେ ତାକୁ ହେଲ୍ପ କରିପାରିବା।
ଗୋଟେ କଥା ହଉଛି ଯେ ସବୁବେଳେ ଆମେ ଜାଣିବା ଉଚିତ ଯେ ନଥିଙ୍ଗ ଇଜ ଇମ୍ପସିବୁଲ, କୌଣସି ଜିନିଷ ଇମ୍ପସିବୁଲ ନୁହଁ, ଏଭ୍ରିଥିଙ୍ଗ ଇଜ ପସିବୁଲ। ଏସର ନୁହଁ, ସେ ପିଲାଟି କାହିଁ କରିପାରୁନି 5th କ୍ଲାସର ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ ଗୁଡାକ, ତାର ଏକମାତ୍ର କାରଣ ହେଲା ସେ 4th କ୍ଲାସ 3rd କ୍ଲାସ ବା 2nd କ୍ଲାସର ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ ଗୁଡାକୁ ସେ ଠିକ ଭାବରେ କରିପାରୁନି, ତାପରେ କୌଣସି ଟିଚର୍ସ ନଜର ଦେଇନାହାନ୍ତି। ଏସର ନୁହଁ, ଏବଂ ସେ ଯେତେବେଳେ 5th କ୍ଲାସରେ ପଢୁଛି ସେତେବେଳେ ସେ ଇନସିକ୍ୟୁର ଫିଲ୍ କରୁଛି, ତାର ଇଣ୍ଟରେଷ୍ଟ ନାହିଁ ପାଠ ପଢିବା ପାଇଁ। ତାର ଏକମାତ୍ର କାରଣ ହେଲା ତାର ଷ୍ଟାଣ୍ଡାର୍ଡ ନାହିଁ। ତେଣୁ ଅଟୋମେଟିକାଲି ଯଦି ଆପଣ ତାକୁ ସ୍ପେଶାଲ ଏଜୁକେସନ ଦିଅନ୍ତି ବା ତାକୁ ଆପଣ କଣ କରନ୍ତି ନା ସ୍ପେଶାଲ ଯୋଉଟା କହନ୍ତି ଆମେ ରିମେଡିଆଲ ମେଜର୍ସ ୟୁ ହାଭ୍ ଟୁ ଟେକିନ୍ ଇନଟୁ କନସିଡରେସନ। ତାକୁ ଯଦି ପଢେଇ ପଢେଇ ଆସିବେ, ସପୋଜ ମ୍ୟାଥମେଟିକ୍ସ ପଢଉଛନ୍ତି, ତାକୁ ପ୍ରଥମେ ପଚାରିବେ ପଣିକିଆ ହେଇଛି, ଏ ପଣିକିଆଟା ଏୟା କାଲିକି ଏୟା କରିକି ଆସିବୁ। ସେ ଦେଖିବେ 5 ଦିନ 6 ଦିନ ଭିତରେ ତାର ସେ କଣ କରିବ, ସେ ପଣିକିଆଟା ବୁଝିଯିବ। ତାପରେ ତାକୁ କେମିତି ଆପ୍ଲାଏ କରିବେ ଶିଖେଇବେ। ଆପଣ ଦେଖିବେ ଥରେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ପିଲାଟାର ଇଣ୍ଟରେଷ୍ଟଟା ଡେଭଲପ କରିବ, ସେ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଆଉ ଛାଡିବନି। ଆଉ ଦେଖିବେ ୱିଦିନ 3 months ଭିତରେ ସେ ଆପଣଙ୍କ ସବୁ ଯାକ, ଯେହେତୁ ମାଇଣ୍ଡ ମ୍ୟାଚୁରେସନ ଇଜ ଦେୟାର, ୟୁ ନୋ ଦ୍ୟାଟ ଆମର ଯେତେବେଳେ ମାଇଣ୍ଡ ମ୍ୟାଚୁରେସନ ଆସୁଛି ସେତେବେଳେ ଆମର ପରସେପସନଟା ବେଶୀ ହଉଛି, ଆମର ନଲେଜଟାକୁ ବେଶୀ ଆମେ ଗେନ୍ କରୁଛେ। ଏସର ନୁହଁ, ତେଣୁ ସେ ପିଲାଟା ଗେନ୍ କରି 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 ଯିବ। ସେଥିପାଇଁ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ପେସେନ୍ସ ଥିବା ଦରକାର ଏବଂ ତାର ମଧ୍ୟ ପେସେନ୍ସ ଥିବା ଦରକାର। ତାକୁ ଯଦି ଆପଣ ଲଭ୍ ଆଣ୍ଡ ଆଫେକ୍ସନ ଦେବେ, ତେଣୁ ସେ ଅଟୋମେଟିକାଲି କଣ କରିବ, ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଆଟ୍ରାକ୍ଟେଡ ହବ ଏବଂ ପଢିବ। am I correct?
ଆଜ୍ଞା ସାର୍, ଯେ ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ କଥା ସାର୍, ଆମେ କ୍ଲାସରେ ମନେକର 25 ପିଲା ଅଛନ୍ତି ତ ଆମେ ଗୋଟେ ପିଲାକୁ ଏତେ ମାନେ ଫୋକସ ଏମ୍ଫାସିସ୍ ଦେଇକି ଦେଲା ବେଳକୁ ଟୋଟାଲ
ନାଇଁ
କ୍ଲାସଟା
ମୁଁ
ସାରା ପିଲା
ମୁଁ
ହେଇଯିବ
କହୁଛି ଯୋଉ ପିଲାମାନେ ଅଛନ୍ତି ତା ଭିତରେ ସମସ୍ତେ ଏମିତିଆ ନଥିବେ, 4-5 ଜଣ ଥିବେ। ମୋ କଥା ବୁଝିହେଲା କି? ସେ 4-5 ଜଣଙ୍କୁ ଆପଣ ସପ୍ତାହରେ 2 ଦିନ ବା 3 ଦିନ ଏକ୍ସଟ୍ରା ଟାଇମ ଦିଅନ୍ତୁ, ବେଶୀ ନ ଦିଅନ୍ତୁ। ବିକଜ ୟୁ ଆର ଦି ଟିଚର।
ଆଜ୍ଞା
କାହିଁକି ନା ଆପଣଙ୍କ ତାର ଭବିଷ୍ୟତକୁ ଗଢିବେ। ତାକୁ ଯଦି ଆପଣ ନେଗ୍ଲେକ୍ଟ କରିଦେଲେ, ଦେନ୍ ଅଟୋମେଟିକାଲି ସେ ପୁରା ନେଗ୍ଲେକ୍ଟ ହେଇଯିବ ଏବଂ ଲାଷ୍ଟକୁ ଯେତେବେଳେ ବୋର୍ଡ ଏକ୍ସାମିନେସନ ଦେବ ସେ ଫେଲ ହବା କଥା ହିଁ ଫେଲ ହବ।
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ଆଉ ଯେମିତି ଆପଣ ମାନେ ମାର୍କ ଦଉଛନ୍ତି ବା ଅନ୍ୟମାନେ ଯେମିତି ମାର୍କ ଦଉଛନ୍ତି, ଆଗରୁ ଆମେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ପରୀକ୍ଷା ଦଉଥିଲୁ ଗୋଟେ ଲିଟରେଚରରେ ମାର୍କ ରଖିବାଟା ଭେରି ଡିଫିକଲ୍ଟ ହଉଥିଲା। କିନ୍ତୁ ଏବେ ଲିଟରେଚରରେ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ସପୋଜ ଓଡିଆରେ ଲୋକମାନେ ରଖୁଛନ୍ତି 99। ଇଜ ଇଟ୍ ପସିବୁଲ? ଓଡିଆରେ ଲାଙ୍ଗୁଏଜରେ କଣ ଭୁଲ ନାହିଁ? କମା ଯୋଉଠି ଦବା କଥା, ଆପୋଷ୍ଟ୍ରୋଫି ଯୋଉଠି ଦବା କଥା, ଫୁଲ ଷ୍ଟପ୍ ଯୋଉଠି ଦବା କଥା, ସେଣ୍ଟେନ୍ସ ଫର୍ମେସନରେ ହର୍ଷଇକାର ଦୀର୍ଘଇକାର ତାଲବେଶ ର ପ୍ରୟୋଗ, ଏଗୁଡା ସବୁ ଯାକ କଣ ଠିକ ହଉଛି? କୁହନ୍ତୁ।
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ଲାଙ୍ଗୁଏଜ ଲର୍ଣ୍ଣିଂରେ ଆମେ କାହା ଉପରେ ଗୁରୁତ୍ୱ ଦବା? ଦବା ଶବ୍ଦ ଉପରେ ଗୁରୁତ୍ୱ ଦବା, କରେକ୍ଟ ପ୍ରୋନାଉନସିଏସନ ଉପରେ ଦବା, ତାପରେ କରେକ୍ଟ ଲିଖନ ଉପରେ ଦବା, ହଁ ନା ନାଇଁ?
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ମୋ କଥା ବୁଝିଲେ? ସବୁ ଜିନିଷ ପେସେନ୍ସ। ଆପଣଙ୍କ ନିଜର ପିଲା କଥା କୁହନ୍ତୁ, ପିଲାଟା ପାଠ ପଢୁନି, ଜାଣୁଛନ୍ତି ତାର ମ୍ୟାଥମେଟିକ୍ସରେ ୱିକ୍ ଅଛି, ସାଇନ୍ସରେ ୱିକ୍ ଅଛି, ତାକୁ ଲୋଅର କ୍ଲାସରୁ ଷ୍ଟାର୍ଟ କରୁନାହାନ୍ତି, ଟିକେ ଟିକେ ପଢେଇ ପଢେଇ ଦେଲେ ସେ ଆପେ ଆପେ ପଢିବ। ତାକୁ ତ ଆପଣ ଦେଇ ଦଉଛନ୍ତି ୟୁ ଆର ଗିଭିଂ ଦି ମୋବାଇଲ, ମତେ ଡିଷ୍ଟର୍ବ କରନା କି ତୁ ଡିଷ୍ଟର୍ବ ହୋନା। ମୋ କଥା ବୁଝିହେଲା? ୟୁଟ୍ୟୁବରୁ ଦେଖିଦେ। ହାଉ ଇଟ୍ ଇଜ ପସିବୁଲ? It is better to give time for our children and also for the students, because you are getting salary from that school. You must have to provide extra time. Okay, if possible, then you can provide the time. Otherwise, you should not. It depends upon the person concerned. এটা ସବୁବେଳେ depend କରୁଛି person concern ଅନୁସାରେ। ବୁଝିହେଲା?
ସାର୍
ସପୋଜ ଗୋଟେ ଆମେ ଏବେ ଏକ୍ସାମ୍ପଲ କହୁଛି, ସପୋଜ ମୁଁ ବି ବହି ଲେଖୁଛି, ସବୁ କିଛି କରୁଛି, ସବୁ କିଛି କରୁଛି, କିନ୍ତୁ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଏତେ ଗୁଡିଏ ଟପିକ ଦିଆଯିବ, ମୋର ରେସ୍ପନ୍ସିବିଲିଟି ହଉଛି 2 ଘଣ୍ଟା ଭିତରେ ଏତେ ସବୁ ମତେ କମ୍ପ୍ଲିଟ କରିବାକୁ ପଡିବ। ତେଣୁ ସମଟାଇମ୍ସ ଆଇ ଏମ୍ ବିକମିଂ ହାଷ୍ଟି, ବଟ୍ ଇଟ୍ ସୁଡ୍ ନଟ୍ ବି। ଯଦି ଗୋଟେ ୟୁନିଟ୍ ଗୋଟେ ଚାପ୍ଟର ୟୁନିଟ୍ ଦିଆ ହେଇଥାନ୍ତା, ତାକୁ ପଢିବାକୁ 1.5 ଘଣ୍ଟା ଦିଆଯାଇଥାନ୍ତା କି 2 ଘଣ୍ଟା ଦିଆଯାଇଥାନ୍ତା, କେତେ ସୁଇଟେବୁଲ ଏକ୍ସାମ୍ପଲ, କେତେ ପାର୍ଟିସିପେସନ ହେଇଥାନ୍ତା ଷ୍ଟୁଡେଣ୍ଟସ ମାନଙ୍କ ଠାରୁ, କେତେ ରେସ୍ପନ୍ସ ଆସିଥାନ୍ତା। କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ଆନ୍ସର ମାଧ୍ୟମରେ ମୁଁ ବି ଶିଖିଥାନ୍ତି, ଆପଣମାନେ ବି ଶିଖିଥାନ୍ତେ। but it is not possible. So I must have to accommodate with the conditions. Yes or no? The rules and regulations are framed by the authority, and that will be accepted by me. Yes or no? And
Yes,
you
sir.
will also bound to accept it. Okay, thank you. Next, here I am giving the comparison between the two type of the test. One is achievement test and also the diagnostic test. देखो it is design achievement test कोच पे design एटा होची conclusion जति पढै छी भितर जति आपण बुझी परिबे तबे डेफिनेटली आपण एटा सब दिन पे मन रखि परिबे सपोज आमे तो डिजाइन करछे अचीवमेंट टेस्ट सेतले आमे कोन असेस करिया को चेष्टा करछे वी आर असेसिंग द अचीवमेंट इन एनी सब्जेक्ट that is the school subject, but our test is based on the objectives here to assess the achievement in any subject. Then it is based on the what objectives गुडा हम कहतली cognitive affective and psychomotor. तापर diagnostic test रे कोन होची देखो solve the exact difficulty what we are facing, the students are facing, then we have to solve it. Diagnostic test रे cover करची कोन wide content cover करची achievement test रे, but here it will cover the specific content जोटा कि difficult content. You, what example you are giving that a student standard is less, then you give the focus on that child, the academic achievement of the child. Then gradually, if you will have to improve, then automatically he can able to learn more and more. Suppose you know that in the matriculation we are reading so many subjects, but when we are going to plus 2 level, plus 3 level, PG level, MPhil level, and PhD level, at that time we are getting less and less number of the subjects. Is not it? Because you know that that child can remember more and more than us. He can observe the situation properly. It includes the complex unit, the achievement test, but diagnostic test is simple item. Scoring, total score will have to take into consideration. Diagnostic not essential to take the total scores. Scoring may not be possible because we are find out the learning difficulties and we must have to give the remedial suggestions. Here achievement test is quantitative. Quantitative means we will have to reflect the marks, but here it is qualitative in nature. Qualitative means what quality we have going to develop, what reformation we are going to done. आमे कोनटा रिफॉर्मेशन करि परले से पिलाटार. नेक्स्ट अटेंशन, नो अटेंशन इज पेड. अचीवमेंट टेस्ट रे केही का प्रति अटेंशन दियंती नाही. एठी प्रति मिनिट रे से पिलाटा कोन करूची, मिनिट रे केते केते अचीवमेंट तार होची, केते केते डेवलपमेंट होची, तार बिहेवियर केते चेंज होची, सब जिंस को हमको रेकॉर्ड करिया को पड़िबो. टाइम फिक्स टाइम अचीवमेंट टेस्ट रे फिक्स टाइम. क्लासरूम टेस्ट नो टाइम लिमिट इज देयर फॉर द कंप्लीशन because the teacher is observing. Norms already for age grade norms सब फॉलो करा जाय कोथरे ना अचीवमेंट टेस्ट रे एथरे नॉर्म्स किछि आवश्यकता नाही फॉलो करिया. आइटम्स होची स्पेसिफाइड नंबर ऑफ द टेस्ट आइटम्स जे हमें ब्लूप्रिंट कला बेले 100 क्वेश्चन करिवा 50 टा क्वेश्चन करिवा तबे सेति क्वेश्चन हमें नबा. एठी टेस्ट आइटम्स कोन रिपीटेटिव एंड स्पेसिफिक डिफिकल्ट कंटेंट एरिया. Content area रे जो difficult area अछि सेही तरह टेस्ट आइटम को will have to taken into consideration. So definitely in case of the diagnostic test, definitely we will have to take one individual or the group. Learning difficulties we will have to select and we will have to provide the scope through which we can able to get the idea how to solve the learning difficulties. Then automatically we will have to identify the individual student or group in the learning situations. Some extent the desirable behavior we must have to get from the students. So specific nature of the learning difficulties we must have to judge. The nature, so nature anusare we will have to ask the questions or we will have to we will have a mental preparation. Then we must have to do accordingly. But multiple factors are also some extent responsible for learning difficulties. Regarding the curriculum, heavy curriculum will create the problem. Teaching learning practices, if it is not good, it will create problem. If management difficulties are there, then automatically it will be there. And physical, emotional status of the learner is very important. Physical fitness, And emotional status is very important. Suppose if one is emotionally weak, then definitely he will not able to stable and he cannot do anything else. Suppose ସେଇଥିପାଇଁ କୁହାଯାଏ, if you are liking anybody, don't like too much. If you are hating anybody, you do not hate anybody too much. And if you are loving anybody, you do not have the love too much. That will create the problem inside your brain. And whenever age is increasing, you must have to control all types of the emotions. So definitely remedial measures होची proper counseling should be there. Teacher दियंतु ବା counselor दियंतु, ତେଣୁ remedial teaching ବି ଦେବେ, ଆପଣ ତାକୁ ଲୋକଙ୍କୁ ବୁଝେଇବେ, ପିଲାଙ୍କୁ ବୁଝେଇବେ, କ୍ଲାସ୍ ବି କରିବେ, physical ଆଉ mental treatment ବି ଦେବାକୁ ପଡ଼ିବ। ଯଦି ରୋଗ ହେଇଛି physical treatment ଦେବେ, mental treatment ମାନେ ଯଦି ମନ ଭିତରେ complex ଅଛି, conflict ଅଛି, frustration ଅଛି ଏବଂ he is not showing his interest, then we must have to find out the ways how he will have to create the interest. Motivation factors are there. So intelligence is also affecting, personality is also affecting. Intelligence, you all know that it is the ability to learn, and also personality is the, we can say that from your attitude, from your interest, and from your emotional adjustment, you can be judged by the others. If you are well in all aspects, suppose for example, in case of the psychological aspect, and it, including the attitude, interest, and emotional adjustment, then you are to be considered more by the student. Personality is very important. କାହିଁ- କାହିଁକି ନା ଆପଣଙ୍କ ପର୍ସନାଲିଟି ସବୁବେଳେ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ସାଇକୋଲୋଜି ଉପରେ ଡିପେଣ୍ଡ କରୁଛି, ଆପଣଙ୍କ ଇମୋସନ ଷ୍ଟାବିଲିଟି ଉପରେ ଡିପେଣ୍ଡ କରୁଛି। ଆଉ ଡିଫିକଲ୍ଟ ସବଜେକ୍ଟ ଯୋଉଟା ଅଛି, ଏରିଥମେଟିକ୍ ହେଲା, ସ୍ପେଲିଂ ହେଲା, ରିଡିଂ ହେଲା, ସେଥିରେ ମଧ୍ୟ ଆପଣ ହେଲ୍ପ କରିପାରିବେ। ଜେନେରାଲ ଏଜୁକେସନାଲ ଆଚିଭମେଣ୍ଟ ହେଉଛି ଯେ ଆମେ ସର୍ଭେ କରିକି ଦେଖିବାକୁ ପାଇବା ଯେ କଣ୍ଟେଣ୍ଟ ଏରିଆରେ ପିଲାମାନେ କେତେ ଆଚିଭ୍ କରିପାରୁଛନ୍ତି। ବଟ୍ ରିମେଡିଏସନ୍ ଇଜ୍ ଦେୟାର, whatever the problems we are facing, whatever diagnosis we will have to do, if there will be no follow-up action, then automatically it will be fruitless. Deficiencies will be there. We are helping a child, we are helping a learner to improve in the academic sphere. But if our help will stop in a particular stage, if it will not continue, if there will be no follow-up situations, then automatically the child will not grow what we have expected. So I can say you that remedial teaching should be provided by the teacher. Good physical conditions should be there. Parents should be cooperative, and specific strength and weakness of the children should be known, and you can discuss with the child about his problem, and also you will have to give some suggestions. And individual remedial teaching is very important. जो मैडम जनक पचार प्रत्येक पिला जो मैंने वीक इंडिविजुअलाइज रिमेडियल टीचिंग देले ऑटोमेटिकली सेठुर आपण फीडबैक पाई परिबे जे पिलार कोन इंप्रूवमेंट होउची। तेनु टीचर जते बेले टीचर में टेस्ट करची बा स्टैंडर्डाइज टेस्ट करची, सेते बेले से डेफिनेटली कोन करि परिबो ना स्टूडेंट्स मानकर स्टैंडर्ड को आखि आगे रखिबो। तो सेटा जे से न रखिला देन ही लोग फेस द प्रॉब्लम। But cumulative record cards are there, and you know that all the informations are to be provided in the cumulative record card, and certain nature of difficulties are reflected. Treatment given, suggestions, progress, noticed, everything will be there. But individualized education program, what I am saying previously, that it reinforces the learning, and it also helps overcome the learning difficulties and develop the potential reach of the child. Individualized education program. In the educational field, learner is interested to learn. Teacher should provide individualized educational program, and that will reinforce himself in the learning, and it will help to overcome the learning difficulties and help to develop the potentialities of the children. Peer group learning is also there. Sometimes in the group, if we will recognize the child and help the children and help the schoolmates also to find out certain learning difficulties in the group, he will able to understand his own problem. Sometimes the teacher is also reflecting the different types of the problem in the group learning, and also in that group learning self study will be there. One can hello
ସାର୍ ଟିକେ ଇଣ୍ଡିଭିଜୁଆଲାଇଜ୍ଡ ଏଜୁକେସନ୍ ଲର୍ଣ୍ଣିଂ ଟା ଟିକେ
individualize individualized education learning hoଉଛି ଏଟା ଗୋଟେ ପ୍ରୋଗ୍ରାମ ଯୋଉଟା ରିଏନଫୋର୍ସ କରିବ ଜଣକୁ କଣ କରିବ ପୁsh କରିବ କଣ କରିବ ନା ଫାଉଣ୍ଡେସନ ଅଫ ଦି ଲର୍ଣ୍ଣିଂ ଫାଉଣ୍ଡେସନ ଅଫ ଦି ଲର୍ଣ୍ଣିଂ ମିନ୍ସ ଯୋଉ ଲର୍ଣ୍ଣିଂ ର ଫାଉଣ୍ଡେସନ କଥା ମୁଁ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ କହୁଥିଲି ତାର ସେତିକି ଅଛି ନା ନାହିଁ ତାକୁ ଜାଣିବା ପାଇଁ ବୁଝିବା ପାଇଁ ଟିକେ ଟିକେ ବୁଝିଲେ ସେ ଆଗକୁ ଆଗକୁ ଯିବ ତାପରେ ଓଭରକମ୍ କରିବ ଲର୍ଣ୍ଣିଂ ଡିଫିକଲ୍ଟି ଆଉ କରିବ ଡେଭଲପ କରିବ ତାର ଯୋଉ ପୋଟେନସିଆଲିଟି ସେଟା ଗ୍ରୁପ ରେ ହେଇପାରିବନି କାହିଁକିନା ଗ୍ରୁପ ରେ ସେ ନିଜକୁ ଇନଫିରିୟର ମନେ କରିବ କାହିଁକିନା ଗ୍ରୁପ ରେ ସେ ଭାବିବ ଯେ ମତେ ଇଏ ଯୋଉ ଦୟା ଦେଖଉଛନ୍ତି ବୋଲି କଣ କଥା ବୁଝିହେଲା କାହିଁକିନା କେହି କାହାର ଦୟାର ପାତ୍ର ହବାକୁ ଇଚ୍ଛା କରୁନାହାନ୍ତି ତେଣୁ ଅଟୋମେଟିକାଲି ସେଇ କ୍ଷେତ୍ରରେ ଆପଣ ଡେଫିନେଟଲି ବ୍ୟକ୍ତିଗତ ଭାବରେ ତାକୁ ଯଦି ସହଯୋଗ କରିବେ ତାର ଇମ୍ପ୍ରୁଭମେଣ୍ଟ ହବ କିନ୍ତୁ ଗ୍ରୁପ ଲର୍ଣ୍ଣିଂ ରେ କଣ ହବ ନା ଗ୍ରୁପ ଲର୍ଣ୍ଣିଂ ରେ ଆପଣ ଇଣ୍ଡିଭିଜୁଆଲ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମକୁ ରିଫ୍ଲେକ୍ଟ କରିବେ ଆଉ ନା କହିବେନି କାହାର ତେଣୁ ଏ କଥାକୁ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଷ୍ଟୁଡେଣ୍ଟସ୍ ମାନେ ଜାଣିବେ ସାର୍ ମତେ କହୁଛନ୍ତି ବୋଲିକି ସିଏ କହୁଥିବ ମତେ କହୁଛନ୍ତି ବୋଲିକି ମୋର ତ ଏଇ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ ଆର ସଲ୍ୟୁସନ ଟା ବି ଆପଣ ଦେବେ ଉଦାହରଣ ଦେଇକି ଆରେ ଏମିତି ଏମିତି ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ ହେଇଥିଲା ତାର ସଲ୍ୟୁସନ ଟା ଏମିତି ଏମିତି ହେଲା ସେ ଏହା କଲା ତେଣୁ ଅଟୋମେଟିକାଲି ଏଇଟା ଏନକରେଜ କରିବ କୋଉଥିପାଇଁ ନା ସେଲ୍ଫ ଷ୍ଟଡି it will become a self study session and you can provide this self study session in the prayer class or when the students are in the assembly outside the class then automatically the students can able to develop and ତା ସହିତ ମଧ୍ୟ you must have to enhance the people's motivation how you will provide certain rewards if one is doing some good job then automatically rewards will be provided it may be the notebook it may be the pen it may be the pencil whatever it may be and that will help you to develop so definitely I will say that decision is always related to remedial teaching and definitely in case of the instructional objectives then we can help the
ସେଇଟା ତ
learner
ମାନେ ଲେଟ୍ସ ମାନଙ୍କର ଚାରିଟା ପିଲାଙ୍କୁ ନେଲେ ଗୋଟେ ଲେବଲର ପିଲା ଯାହାକୁ କି ଗୋଟେ ପାଠ ଧରିବାକୁ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ ହଉଛି ଆମେ ଚାରିଟା ପିଲା ସିଲେକ୍ଟ କରିକି ସେଇ ପାଠଟାକୁ ଆଉଥରେ ମାନେ ତାର ଡାୟଗ୍ନୋଷ୍ଟିକ କରିକି ଆଉଥରେ ତାକୁ ରିମେଡିଆଲ ଟିଚିଂ ଦବା ତ ସେଇଟା ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମେ 4 ଜଣ ପିଲାଙ୍କୁ ପଢଉଛନ୍ତି ତ ସେଇଟା ଗ୍ରୁପ ରେ ରହିଲା ନା ଇଣ୍ଡିଭିଜୁଆଲ ରହିଲା
ନାଇଁ ସେଇଟା ଇଣ୍ଡିଭିଜୁଆଲ ହେଲେ ଇଣ୍ଡିଭିଜୁଆଲି ଯାହାର ବେଶୀ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ ଅଛି 4 ଜଣ ଯଦି ସେମ ଟାଇପ ର ଆଣିଲେ ତାଙ୍କର କମନ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ ୟୁ ଆର ଗୋଇଂ ଟୁ ସଲ୍ଭ ଅର ନଟ୍
ୟେସ୍
ହଁ କମନ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ ଟା ସଲ୍ଭ ହେଇଗଲା କିନ୍ତୁ ବହୁତ ପିଲାଙ୍କର ଇଣ୍ଡିଭିଜୁଆଲ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ ଅଛି ମୋ କଥା ବୁଝିହେଲା କି ସେ ଇଣ୍ଡିଭିଜୁଆଲ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ କେବଳ ପର୍ସନାଲ ରିଲେସନରେ ସେଇଟାକୁ ଆପଣ ଏକ୍ସପ୍ଲୋର କରିପାରିବେ ଅଦରୱାଇଜ ୟୁ କ୍ୟାନ ନଟ୍ ଏକ୍ସପ୍ଲୋର ଆପଣ ମନର କଥା ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କୁ ଆପଣ କହିପାରିବେ କି ନିଜ ଲୋକକୁ କହିପାରିବେ ନା ମୋ କଥା ବୁଝିହେଲା କି what problem we are facing you will not express to anybody so what problems the students are facing they will not express inside the classroom situation if individually you will have to give the instruction if you will have the individual relationship means talking orally then automatically she or he can able to express everything to you because you are having the motherly quality and a child is able to express everything in the presence of his or her mother yes or no and teachers are always the well teachers are always what the hard tax master but women teachers are not the hard tax masters okay
ୟେସ୍
and
ସାର୍
next is continuous and comprehensive evaluation you all know it evaluation is what previously I have told you measurement assessment and value judgment so definitely if evaluation is like this and we are giving some value judgment when you will give the value judgment then automatically we will consider all the aspects of the child we will have to take into consideration overall personality of the student when we are evaluating the child suppose a student is securing the good marks doing all type of the activities in the school properly participating in all the co-curricular activities or curricular activities then we can say that the student is good so you know that continuous and comprehensive evaluation ତମର ଜାଣିଥିବ ନ୍ୟାସନାଲ କରିକୁଲମ ଫ୍ରେମୱାର୍କ 2005 ରେ ଏଇଟା ଆସିଛି। Why it is continuous and comprehensive? First, we must have to know that continuous evaluation, traditional system of assessment is there. We are conducting 1 or 2 examinations in a year only to assess the content knowledge of the students. And after that, the students are awarded marks or a degree. But in case of the continuous assessment, what we are doing? We are assessing the students' performance formally and informally. Formally and informally means we are conducting the test formally. Informally means we are observing the child. We may collect the data from the observation, from the interview, for the peer assessment and group work or project work. That means we are taking into consideration the performances of the children in the different field and performance of the children in the academic aspect. 4 components are there. Continuous assessment, interrelationship among what? Objectives, educational objectives, content, learning experience, and assessment procedures. If there will be a continuous process is there, interrelationship are formed, then automatically that is to be considered as the continuous assessment. Continuous assessment is essential, definitely. It improves the learning behavior of the children, and also it will provide the data regarding the meaningful learning experiences, because how far the students are going to learn the subject matter. But when we are saying that comprehensive way, suppose comprehension questions, that is understanding question in the teaching a particular subject, comprehension questions we are putting. So here we will have to consider the all-round development of the student's personality. We will consider all-round aspects of the child. Here NCERT consider all school-based activities are scholastic activities. But sometimes other activities are there. Scholastic means पाठ्यक्रम संबंधित शिक्षागत, किंतु शिक्षारू जोड़ा बाहर को जाउची, जोड़ा का हमको सह शिक्षा सहित संपृक्ति अछि, सेटा को हमें कहूचे को scholastic areas. तेणु both are to be taken into consideration. Suppose whenever we are evaluating the child, at that time we will have to taken into consideration about the scholastic activities that is related to intellectual exercises of the children, where in the curricular subjects, his judgment, his practical work, his project work, and different type of the tests which are conducted inside the class. Both scholastic areas are considered, that what type of the skills we are developed, utilizing our attitude, self-concept, personality, whatever it may be, social cultural development, emotional intelligence, everything we have taken into consideration. So comprehensive evaluation includes assessment of abilities in both areas, that is scholastic and post-scholastic area. Post-scholastic means you know that the students are having the scope to develop his own skills. He has the attitude, he has the self-concept, he has the personality, socio-cultural development is going on, he has the emotional intelligence. All these things should be developed. How? In the field of art, in the field of craft, health, physical education, yoga, peace education, etc. Then Definitely, comprehensive evaluation, we are saying that abilities in the scholastic and post-scholastic areas. What type of the tools we will have to follow? You know that intelligence is there, same thing. Interview, observation, rating scale, checklist, attitude scales. Scholastic area, what we are judging? Scholastic means curricular area, curriculum, content area. We are asking questions, keeping in mind the objective knowledge, understanding, application, and skill. Tools, written examination, oral examination, and practical examination. That is scholastic examination. Post-scholastic area, we are giving importance on physical health and hygiene. But now we are introduced the yoga education. So, କୋଉ tool को ଆମେ use କରିବା? Exercises and observation. Exercise को ଦେଖିପାରିବା, observation को କରିକି ଆମେ ଜାଣିପାରିବା. Habit ହେଉଛି ଆମର health habit ଅଛି. ସ୍ୱାସ୍ଥ୍ୟଗତ habit ଅଛି, study habit ଅଛି, work habit ଅଛି, ଆମ ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କର ବିଭିନ୍ନ ପ୍ରକାର habit ଅଛି. Then automatically what type of the tools we will have to use? That is observation. Interest, literary, artistic, scientific, musical, social. These are all the interest. Literature interest ଥିଲେ ଆମେ ଲେଖିପାରିବା, ବହି ଲେଖିପାରିବା. Artistic, you know, scientific, musical, social, observation. Attitudes means attitudes towards the studies, जोटा कि towards the teachers, towards the self, towards the peer groups, towards the schools, towards the society. এটা ମଧ୍ୟ observation ରେ we will have to find out. Life skill, suppose self awareness, effective communication, critical thinking, decision making, coping with the emotion, coping with the stress, empathy. What do you mean by empathy? ଜଣଙ୍କର ଦୁଃଖରେ ନିଜେ ଦୁଃଖ. Interpersonal relationship is there, creative thinking is there, problem solving is there. ଆକୁ ମଧ୍ୟ observation କରିପାରିବା. Tool, observation tool. Participation in other activities. Suppose different type of the games and sports are there, literary activities there, cultural activities is there, observation. ତେଣୁ post scholastic activities କୁ ମଧ୍ୟ ଆମେ ପାଇପାରିବା କୋଉଥିରୁ? ଆମର CBSE ର ଯୋଉ rules and regulation ଅଛି, that is work experience, ଯୋଉଟାକୁ ଆମେ କହୁଛୁ work education. ବିଭିନ୍ନ ପ୍ରକାର poster ତିଆରି କରିବା, diagram, graph, chart, panel box, model, specimen, scrapbook, whatever it may be, cartoon, doll making. Art ରେ, then automatically wall painting is there, traditional art is there, sculpture is there, clay modeling is there. All these things are there. ତେଣୁ performing act ରେ drama, dance, music, ତାର ଅର୍ଥ we are taking into consideration all the aspects. Health and hygiene ରେ automatically games and sports ରେ ଆମେ ନେଇପାରିବା ଖୋ-ଖୋ, କବାଡି, running, jumping, etc. Participation NCC, NSS, and also scouts and guides, yoga, gardening, all these things we'll have to take. Discipline means when we are performing all these activities, how far we are disciplined ourselves. That is very important. What type of the social values we have learned, what type of the we can say your attendance, sincerity, behavior, and social values, respectfulness, everything will be taken into consideration. So it is nothing evaluation. Definitely we can say that it is a continuous and comprehension. We'll have to take it into consideration the different tests. It may be unit test, affiliate test, annual test, whatever it may be. But we must have to focus on cognitive, affective, and psychomotor domain. But everything should be recorded properly. Otherwise, we'll have to prepare a format. In that format, we'll have to include the quantitative and qualitative abilities. And the students' performance will be reflected there, and it will be help the administrator and the teachers to know all these things. Because after reflection of all the activities, then we can able to observe. Everything will be observed by the teachers, feedbacks will be given, then automatically teachers can also discuss with the students, parents, everything. And whenever we'll get the feedback, at that time we'll have to help the guardians to motivate the child. Students' profile you will have to prepare. When you will have to prepare the profile, you must have to take into consideration the academic achievement, learning style and strength, interest, special abilities, vision of the futures. But last part is cumulative record card. You are all teachers, you are preparing it, you will have to get the strong point and weak point, likes and dislikes, special interest areas, everything you will have to get from the cumulative record card. So there you will have to find the personal information, scholastic achievement, physical health, post scholastic activities, everything. So lastly, I can say you that definitely evaluation is a continuous and comprehensive. Continuous and comprehensive means it is a continuous process and we must have to follow it. But diagnostic evaluation is very important. If you will not find out the learning difficulties, then if you will not suggest anything for the remediation, then automatically you cannot help the learners to go ahead. Thank you all participating in the discussion. Okay. Good night, everybody.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you.